Welcome to Strong and Steady, where we talk about building strength, supporting your health, and choosing sustainable wellness for women in every season of life.
And I'm Brittany. I'm here with my co-host Jessica. She's a mom of 4 littles with such a grounded, realistic approach to balance for low-tox living. She helps busy moms build healthy habits that actually work in real life without perfection or overwhelm.
And I'm Jessica, here with Brittany, a woman's health and fitness coach who specializes in elite aging. She helps women build strong bones and muscles so they can live their whole lives to the fullest with confidence, strength, and independence.
And together, we have over 2 decades specializing in the health and fitness industry. So whether you're in the thick of young motherhood
or focused on staying strong for the long run,
we are so glad you're here. Hey guys, Brittany here. We are so excited that you are here with us today. So I'm actually super excited about this episode because myth busting today. This is the fun part because I know because you probably have seen stuff all over Instagram and TikTok and Facebook or whatever about like, hey, this is the magic pill. This is what you have to do. Like, if you're not doing this, then you're an idiot. And that can be very discouraging because then you try it and it doesn't work. Or it's also I know certain, I trust certain men when it comes to women's health, like Dr. Josh Axe. I love his stuff. And then even Austin Lake, he's really knowledgeable. But then some other guys that they're like, oh, you just need to do this. I'm like, yeah, that doesn't work. Like, I'm sorry, but I am a woman. Shut up, sit down, go away. Not to be a jerk or anything, but that's just how I feel sometimes. So we are going to go over 7 myths that we have all been told, and we are going to break those and actually give you the truth on these, especially for us women. So Jessica, you want to take it away?
Yeah, so our first myth we are going to be talking about is that skipping breakfast or meals will make you skinny. Reality is that's just not so. Skipping meals can actually spike our cortisol and break down our muscle and slow our metabolism. And none of that's good. So I've learned like with cortisol, it naturally like rises in the morning. That's what helps you wake up. But then doing things like skipping our meal or even drinking like coffee right away. Don't hate me for that, but drinking coffee like first thing in the morning, it just kind of continues to spike the cortisol, which then it's later in the day. That's when you're feeling like that 3 p.m. sluggish, you're snacking more and all of that. And so what you're wanting to do is actually make sure you're eating breakfast and like a good quality breakfast, not like I know growing up, we were not breakfast people growing up. Like Saturday mornings, we'd maybe eat, but especially school, like I remember by high school, I was like, just give me a bag of Cheerios, I'm good. Now I know a lot better. Like you want to be eating that like protein in the morning, pairing it with fiber and all of that to help as well.
Yeah. Well, and also with that, like so many women come up to me and they're like, I'm doing great in the gym. I'm doing everything right. I'm only eating 2 meals a day. I'm skipping breakfast. I'm only having black coffee. But why do I have this belly? Like, why can I not get rid of this? And so where you gain fat, that is telling a hormone story. So if you are gaining weight around like the midsection, then that's your visceral fat. And then that can actually be from too much cortisol. And so, like Jessica had said, is that your cortisol is the highest in the morning because your body's like, okay, it's time to go. I got to wake up. Like, that's what it's for. It's not bad. It's just in large amounts, it is bad. And then like when you eat, you're having that high protein, it's going to help regulate and balance your blood sugar. And then one thing that instead of starting your day off with coffee, now fun fact is that your kidneys actually wake up 15 minutes before you do. So it's very important to drink water. So I would say drink like I drink hydrate in the morning, first thing in the morning. It's electrolyte, so it's starting my day off right. And that can actually help reduce your cortisol, like when you're starting your day off with that. Um, And then, and so you want to make sure that, again, like, not skipping breakfast. And I'll be honest with you, I am not a breakfast person. I thrived when when I say that I thrived off of intermittent fasting, I was like, praise God, I don't have to eat breakfast. I don't have to wake up early. I don't have to make all this big ordeal.
Mhm.
But what happened was that because of the way that I was fasting, is that I was fasting more, I guess you could say, like a man. Like men, I don't they got the great end of the stick. Like they can just do whatever the heck they want, and they look at, like, I look at a donut and I will gain 5 pounds. They eat a whole box of donuts and they're like, I'm gonna go for a run. And then yeah, anyway.
And they're awesome.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But, and so we want to, we want to start our day off with a high protein breakfast. But oh, that's what I was saying. I'm sorry, I got sidetracked a little bit. But instead of starting your day off with that, so it's like start your day off with water. You can do lemon water, add a little bit of Celtic sea salt,
That's what
and
I was thinking.
then yeah,
Yeah,
and
you
it's
know there's a
amazing.
difference.
Exactly, and you actually feel more awake
Mhm.
because and so many people, like, disagree with this, but you being extra tired and exhausted, it's not a caffeine deficiency. It's not. There's something else going on, and when you regulate your minerals, you regulate your electrolytes, that is gonna help you actually feel more awake and alert because your brain is full of water. And I don't know if my dad is ever going to listen to this, but we have this argument for forever, is that coffee is not water. It is not brown water. It actually it dehydrates you. And so it's very important to start your day off with that and then having your coffee after breakfast. But then another way that you can do that is adding in bone broth. So it's like have your electrolytes, then have your bone broth again with Celtic sea salt in it, and then drink as much water as you can, and then eat breakfast, and then you can have your coffee. So it's we're not saying you cannot ever have coffee ever again. I love the taste of coffee. I love the smell of it and everything. But yeah, that's what it's doing to you.
That's actually really good to know about coffee because that was a conversation we had in a group of us moms 2 nights ago. I think it was. We were talking about hydration and drinking water and like needing to up it. And someone's like, "Well, what about coffee? It has water in it. Is coffee hydrating?" And we were all kind of like, maybe it has water." So that's really good to know that like it's actually dehydrating us. And
Yeah.
then also you had talked about like blood sugar spikes. So for those who don't know, like I'm a type 1 diabetic and this is something I see in the morning. Like if I forget to eat or I run out the door without something, um like I just watch. I have a continuous glucose monitor. So like I see the 24 hours of my blood sugar and I just watch in the morning start going up, 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 up until like I eat and get that insulin going. Um and yeah, when your blood sugar is out of whack, you are out of whack. Like when my blood sugar is high, most people don't want to be around me. I don't want to be around me either. But it's because it messes with your hormones, your emotions, just
Don't.
everything. And so that's one reason it's so important to keep it in check as well.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I have hypoglycemia where it's like my blood sugar will just drop, and it was miserable. And when my husband and I we were dating, his family was not very consistent on eating. Like they will have dinner at like 9 or 10 o'clock, or they're like it's 9 or 10 o'clock at night, and they're like, "Oh, are you hungry for dinner?" And I'm thinking like, I freaking just passed out. Like I am done. Like I needed food 5 hours ago. And so there would be so many times that my husband, when we were dating, that it was like I could start to feel my blood sugar just drop. And I would just be like very quiet because I don't have to really focus. Like, don't pass out, don't get, and we call it hangry and everything. And he would literally, so many times, he'd be like, do you want to break up with me? Are you mad at me? And I'm thinking, like, no, just give me a dang protein bar. Like, I need some food. That's it. Oh man. All right. So let's go over myth two. We could talk on that one for forever, I will say. So myth two is the more workouts equal better results. So again, we're gonna go to the little gremlin called cortisol. So again, cortisol can help actually makes you like hold on to weight. And So I personally, I have done a few 75 hards in my time where, it's like you're doing two, what is it, two 45-minute workouts a day. And then you're not having like any processed sugar. You're not doing like this whole list of things. But the problem with more workouts is that you are releasing too much cortisol, and then you're not giving your body enough time to actually like build that muscle to recover. And I personally, like, it can wreak havoc on your hormones. Like growing up, I was already kind of like irregular just from diet and lack of exercise, and not coming from a super healthy family. And then so I got into training, and I love CrossFit, and I love lifting heavy stuff. I love that feel. And I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, that I hate sweating." I'm like, "Yeah, no, let's do this." I'm one of the weird ones. I am that 1% that thinks it's like the best ever. But the problem was that it was leading me to burnout. And when you are releasing too much cortisol, so think like this, is that our body was created to survive, not to lose weight. Like your body will lose weight when it is in homeostasis, and that it feels safe and secure and it's going to digest. But when you are working out too much, or you're doing too high of cardio, like every day of the week, then you're releasing all this cortisol, you're gaining weight, you're feeling puffy, you're feeling inflamed, your joints hurt. And then, but the reason that it's doing that is because, like, when God created us, it was like, "Oh, I'm being chased by a bear, let me release cortisol." And then it's that fight or flight hormone, and so you're running away from that bear. And I don't know, yeah. Anyway, so that's the thing, is that you want to, it's not just like more workouts, but like have those rest days. Have those days where you are doing walking as your workout. And then also, timing how you are doing your hit workouts. So I would say like about 2 hit workouts a week, strength training about 2 to 4 times a week, and then walking the rest. Those are really, really going to help as far as giving you the results that you want without burning you out, because the problem is that whatever worked in our teens and our 20s is not going to work literally like 30 and beyond. So,
Yeah, and I think too, like you were saying with mixing it up, I think that takes so much pressure off of us. Like especially as busy moms, like busy women, we're all busy. It takes that pressure off of, oh, I need to be in the gym every single day doing this hard workout. Like it takes that pressure off. Okay, I can do it
Yeah.
2 days a week and I can go walk the other weeks. I can lift some weights in my house. I can throw on a workout video. Like it's very flexible. And the goal is just to keep your body moving. It doesn't have to be
Yeah.
that super hard, but just that movement to keep your body kind of in that state of just gaining health, like being healthy.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
So our next myth is eating 6 small meals a day boosts metabolism. This is something like even when I was first diagnosed with diabetes, we were told eat every 2 to 3 hours. Like that way you have insulin going through you, eat every 2 to 3 hours. But what I've learned is that's actually not that good for us. Like we want to like be mindful of our eating, 3 meals a day. If you're going to snack, just be very mindful about it, but when we're constantly eating, it's keeping our insulin like at a rise. It's keeping it higher. And when our insulin is elevated, our body has a lot less opportunity to burn that stored fat. And then over time, just having that like constant rise in insulin can actually lead to insulin resistance, which then causes even more issues. And so it's not that insulin's bad. Like we do need insulin, but we need to have like a reason and a rhyme behind it. Like we want it, you don't want like a roller coaster spike and fall, but you want it as you're eating, it's rising that way. It's helping
yeah, you
stabilize your
have energy.
but like we also need it to be rest as well. Um, because if it's not falling, then our body just stays in that storage mode and isn't releasing the fat, isn't getting rid of it like we're needing it to.
Yeah, well, and like you said, then your body can become insulin resistant because it's like if you're constantly hitting that like that insulin button, then it's like your body's like, crap, what do I do? And then it's constantly working when you are like constantly eating. But then also that like another way to help as far as like reduce that insulin resistance is actually eating your protein first. So when we say like eat your 3 meals a day, you want to start with your protein. So let's say that you have eggs for breakfast and some sweet potatoes and we'll say like an avocado. So then you have your carbs, your protein, and your fat, your healthy fats. So what you want to do though is that you want to eat your eggs first. Then you're going to have like your vegetables, your lower carbs, and then you can have your potatoes. And I've been telling my husband this a lot because he has hypoglycemia also, and yeah, we're super fun together when we're hungry. um but is it's like every time that we go to, let's say, like Chick-fil-A or Whataburger, or which that's not very often, um we try to avoid fast food at all costs, but he always eats his french fries first. And I was like, the problem with that is that you are jacking your insulin up, and then you're going to have that crash later on. And even though that you're still having meat with those french fries, you are still releasing insulin first. But if you have your protein first, you are releasing the hormone glucagon, and it's a lot more satiating. So when you eat your protein first, you're going to feel fuller, faster, and longer. And then you have your and then you can have your carbs, and that actually blocks out, like it literally reduces that carb absorption or that carb hit, insulin, whatever you want to call it, about 30 to 40% just by changing that small shift. But then also like making sure that you're not snacking in between. And then when you do have snacks, make sure that you are eating protein. Like that's the biggest thing, is that you want to make sure that you are eating protein, and then you're having all three macronutrients. So your protein, your carbs, and your fat. Healthy fats, obviously. And so that's really, really going to help. And then also, like, you think about like intermittent fasting, kind of going back to myth one about skipping breakfast or skipping meals. It's really not helpful. Now, intermittent fasting, a good book that you can read is Fast Like a Girl. And because if we are fasting 16 hours and then eating 8 hours every single day, 365, then we are not working with our hormones. And then we are going to have that hormone problems. And so what you can do when you are fasting is not necessarily have like, well, oh, I got to skip breakfast. I'll eat at like 11 or 12, but having an earlier dinner and then having less food at night, that is going to help your body rest even more and recover even better, because then it's not so busy on like focusing on digesting your food while you're eating or while you're sleeping.
Yeah, that's definitely something I need to work on when you were talking about like the order of eating food. Because I was the one growing up, I was not a veggie person. So I would shove the veggies down because you get the nasty stuff gone first. And then like I'd eat my potatoes and then the meat because the meat was the good part and I wanted the
Right.
flavor left in my mouth left. But like being mindful of that eating just to help keep my body where it's at.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. So, going on to myth four, this one's actually fun, and I have to say, like, all I can think of is Fat Amy from Pitch Perfect. Like, no, don't put me down for cardio. And so, not all cardio is bad, but our myth is that cardio is the best way to lose fat. So that is a huge myth. So the more muscle you have, the more fat that you will burn. And then also with cardio. So cardio is your aerobic exercise. So swimming, biking, running, walking, all that. And then you have like your weightlifting or your body weight movements, where it's anaerobic. So when you are doing your aerobic exercises, let's say that you're walking on the treadmill or running on the treadmill, and you look at your watch and you're like, heck yeah, I just burnt 400 calories. This is good. I get to go have a Big Mac. Well, the problem with that is that you literally stop burning calories the second you stop doing the aerobic exercise. But when you do anaerobic, so your body weight movements, your weightlifting, that is your anaerobic, and you are building muscle, and your muscle continues to burn fat, even though that you have stopped doing the squats. Like you're not having to do squats all day long, and that is why it's very important to do weightlifting, to do body weight exercises. Like if you don't have weights, that's totally okay. If you're doing push-ups, sit-ups, squats, lunges, I don't know about y'all, but I get sore from lunges every single time. And those are so important to help you burn fat. And then so kind of like what we had said earlier is that you want to do those weightlifting and then doing the 2 hit workouts, but then walking the rest. You do not have to be a runner to burn fat. You do not have to do all these marathon or half marathons to burn fat. Like it doesn't work. And I will say this on the burning fat, and that nobody's going to like me for this, but it is 80% in the kitchen and 20% in the gym. So the gym, like the kitchen is going to tell people like whether you work out or not. Like it's going to show them that. Now you may work out, but if you like tacos a little too much, I'm sorry, but people may not notice that you work out.
Yeah, that was me in high
um,
school. I was like, we'd go to the gym, and I'm like, okay, let's go get a milkshake. My friend's like, you just worked out. I'm like, yeah, I just worked out, so let's go get a milkshake. Like, doesn't quite work that way.
I know. Unfortunately not. You can always out eat a workout. It sucks. It sucks. But it's the way it is. It'll be different in heaven, I'm sure. No.
Probably.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so now myth number 5 is lifting heavy will make women bulky. So I have heard this for forever, where they're like using their little pink weights, and I'm like, pink is fine, weights is great. But little like I think of like the silver sneakers and stuff, and I'm like, those are great. Like my grandma, she would thrive if she would just lift her little 1 pound weights. Like that would be super helpful. But lifting heavy will not make you bulky because so women technically do not have all that testosterone to bulk easily. Like it takes extremely intentional movements, it takes extremely intentional nutrition to bulk up. And so heavy lifting will build bone density, it's going to build your muscle, and you're gonna feel like an awesome mom. Like I posted this reel the other day with some things that have been coming out lately in our world. It can scare you, especially when you are a mom and you have little kids and you're like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe someone would ever do that to a kid. And we also watch Chicago PD, which I have to say, I'm like, oh, I view it differently now that I have a little kid.
Uh-huh.
But I'm like, no, I am weightlifting and I am going to get strong because if anybody comes after me or my family, like you'll have hell to pay. And I'm just saying, us moms, we need to look like a threat. Like this is one of the big reasons why we need to lift heavy is yeah, sure, bone density, yes, for sure. Muscle mass looking good, looking like a smoke show, 6 pack, sure, whatever. But if anybody comes after my kid, just know they will have hell to pay, and they're going to have some muscle mommy coming after you.
I'm gonna have some medical bills to pay.
Exactly.
So our next myth, I won't lie, I was kind of excited to bust this one. Is that salads are always the healthiest choice. I don't know about you growing up. I was not a salad person. But it was always not always, but every once in a while, oh, you need to eat your salad, you need to eat your salad. And the joke in like my family was, Jessica, do you want some salad with your dressing? I was like, no, but I have to, so yes. Anyways, salad.
You can't just drink the ranch dressing. It doesn't work that way.
I was a Thousand Island person, and like
Oh.
there was times my snacks was croutons and Thousand Island, and that was my
Hmm.
snack. Like, but salads are always the healthiest choice. Busting that myth. The reality is that as like women age, large raw salads can actually irritate our gut, worsen bloating, and reduce nutrient absorption. Um, you also like need to be looking at what like the quality of your vegetables you're getting. A lot of them get sprayed with just kind of a lot of gunk, pesticides, different things. So for many of them, you're wanting organic when possible. I know sometimes that's not possible. but making sure like you're washing your vegetables as well. Um, but thinking about salads in general, just the raw vegetables, like I said, they can irritate your gut, especially as we're getting older. And if your gut's already compromised, it can be really hard for your body to break down those raw salads. Um, they can irritate and inflame your gut. And you might also just not be fully absorbing the nutrients from the raw vegetables. But what I've learned is that when we cook vegetables, that helps break down the plant cell walls and it can make certain nutrients more bioavailable. And it's often more gentle on our digestion. Um, and so, like, if your healthy lunch leaves you feeling that bloated and uncomfortable, it might not actually be working like for your body. It might be working more against it in general.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I will say with salads, because for me personally, like, I am gluten free. And so many times when we go to restaurants, it's like all I can have is salad. And and it's like, now that I've had my daughter, and I will say this, is like with hormone shifts, like, you may have been able to eat something before, but because your hormones have shifted, then it irritates you now. And it can irritate your gut because it's like your gut is literally processing everything that is going through your body. And so, but then also, like, if you are an older woman that, whether it's perimenopause, in if you're in the the throes of menopause right now, or even postmenopausal, you want to have, like, a soup would be a lot better option for you if you're wanting to do that. And like Jessica said, cooking your vegetables, like, we have been told, have raw vegetables. Some people can do that. Me personally, I cannot do that. And so you want to make sure that you are cooking your vegetables, like, obviously not burning them. One of the best way to cook your vegetables, you don't want all the carcinogens in that. um, but it's like with your vegetables, the way to cook them is, the best way is to saute them or roast them. Because if you actually steam them, and my mom, she started to eat healthy back in the 90s, and this was like, steam your vegetables, it's the best, you don't have fat, makes you fat. And oh my gosh, like, I hated vegetables. I hated Brussels sprouts. But I'm like, man, if you roast those and put some feta cheese on them, then I'm game. But I'm like, don't you dare steam those vegetables. And honestly though, is that all the juices go into the water, like, all those nutrients go into the water. So then you're really having none of those nutrients. And then also, one thing with salad that doesn't make it healthy is the salad dressing. Like, I hate to say that because that's the best part of a salad. We all know that. Or maybe the cheese and the croutons on top. But they are so full of, like, seed oils, and that can actually wreak more havoc on your gut than just the lettuce. But I will say, like, lettuce, it's almost like little razor blades going down your intestines, especially like kale and spinach, because it has this lining on the walls that it protects from insects and all that stuff. And so when we are ingesting that, then our body can't do that because it has that protective barrier around those.
Yeah, and I think it's important to note too, because like I sitting here, I can hear the moms going, "But that's what I eat. What am I supposed to do? Like, can I never have a like spiraling out? Like,
Right.
you can still have salads. Salads are okay. We're just saying like be mindful of how often you're eating them. Like, you may not want to be doing a salad every day. You might want to start swapping it out. And again, like we always say, small swaps. Like take one day at a time. Okay, pick one day this week you're going to swap your salad for something, another type of protein, like we keep saying protein, fiber, and all of that. And so one step at a time. The goal is not perfection, it's progression.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and like, even yesterday, I took some ground chicken, and I sauteed that, but I had diced up, like, I think it was like zucchini and bell peppers. And I sauteed that, and then I put the chicken in there, and then I mixed it all together. And then you can put garlic, salt, whatever seasonings you want, and then even put some Parmesan cheese on top. And there you go. There's a really good alternative that is high in protein. It's not going to leave you hungry later on. Like, I don't know about y'all, but salad, if I eat a salad, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be hungry in 30 minutes at least, and then I'm like, and I'm of course, and then it's like we go out to eat with people and I've had the salad and they've had their big chicken fried steak and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so full. And I'm like, where can we stop? I need a snack. I'm hungry. I need some protein. And so, yeah, so those are some better alternatives, like vegetables galore. Like, the more variety, the better it is on your gut microbiome. Okay, so we are going to go on to myth 7 is that you cannot out supplement a poor diet. And but also the other myth is that you can just do diet and exercise and you do not need supplements. It's a two-sided coin. Is one, like, you can't just be like, oh hey, I'm taking all these supplements and I'm having pizza every day. It doesn't work like that. You think about this, supplements are to supplement what you're missing in your diet. So if you are like, greens are a great one. So if you're not able to eat as many vegetables, but then also the thing with supplements is that we have so much soil depletion and and then we're having herbicides and pesticides. And then even sometimes organic doesn't even matter. They still have stuff on them. Like, I don't know, you look at a package. Oh, I saw this I was baking a cake for someone and I went to go get some icing and they had organic icing and it had organic soybean oil, organic canola oil, organic sugar, organic. And I'm like, just a list of all this organic crap of like organic, like, who cares? it's, I'm going to go with the cheaper one if I'm eating that crap. Like, it doesn't matter. And so you definitely don't want to think like, oh, I need all of these supplements, because you do have to have a healthy diet. You cannot out supplement a healthy diet. But also is that those supplements are there to help mine that gap. Having those supplements in your corner. Like, I do not miss a day of my gut health supplements. I don't miss a day of my magnesium, probiotics, prebiotics, digestive enzymes. I don't miss a day of those because of what it helps my body do. And so that is an extremely important thing, is that you want supplements that match what your goals are and what your body needs. You can go on the internet and be like, oh, this is for everybody. But you have to specifically have those certain things. And so you can work with like a health practitioner to help you with that. But then also, I will say this on gut health, because I was a diet and exercise only person. When someone had approached me about, they're like, hey, you should try this gut health stuff. I was like, no, I work out and I eat healthy. I eat Greek yogurt. I eat kefir. I do all this stuff, or kimchi too. But my gut was so, like, it was bad. And I had to have probiotics and digestive enzymes to help heal my gut. And then also, like, a way that you can help heal your gut is through bone broth. Bone broth is a great way, but then you can also take like glutamine, that helps with that lining in your gut. Because the fact is that if you are not fixing your gut, then you're not absorbing that food. You're not absorbing the supplements. And so it's very important to fix your gut health along with having that healthy diet.
And I think it's important to note too that the quality of supplements matter. There's lots out there that, yes, you can go buy and they are cheaper, but you're going to be just peeing out half of what's in
Mhm.
there, and your body, or just the type of it, like it's synthetic, and so your body's not actually absorbing it. And so looking at like the quality of the supplements definitely matters. And if you're someone who is looking for some supplements or want to talk, like, we have a little gut health assessment. We'll link it in the bio, and one of us will then reach out and we can just chat with you and kind of help you troubleshoot shoot stuff. Again, we're not doctors, we're not medical professionals, but just based on like what we've learned, we can share with you some recommendations, ones that we love and trust. And so, yeah, definitely look at your quality.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Someone had called me yesterday and he was like, "Hey, I take this over the counter probiotic. Is what you take, is that better?" And I want to be like, "Yes." It's much better. Like, because and I will say this on probiotics, you have to have a digestive enzyme with it, because if you are just taking a probiotic, like I took ones from GNC, took super expensive ones from like a health store here, and they did not work because, so think about this, your gut is like, it's just dirty water. It's all the bad bacteria that we have. And so we're like, okay, well, I've been told I need to take a probiotic. So then we're putting all this clean water in the dirty water, but nothing's getting rid of this dirty water. Nothing. And you're just literally mixing more dirty water, even though it has some good bacteria, but it also still has all that bad bacteria. So that's where that digestive enzyme comes in, where it's going to get rid of that candida, rid of the bad bacteria, while you are putting good bacteria back into your stomach. So, like Jessica said, quality. And you may be spending a little bit more, but it's actually going to work. And I don't know about you, but I would rather spend a little bit more money knowing that it's working, knowing that what I'm doing is going to help, versus like, oh, hey, I'm going to get the cheap Walmart one and
Or
is doing
versus I'm going
jack.
to the doctor's office every single month because I'm sick again.
Exactly. Exactly. I know it. Yeah, exactly. For sure. So, well, thank y'all so much for joining us. And I would love to hear some of your myths that you have heard. And if you have questions or anything, we would be happy to connect with you. And like Jessica said, is that in our show notes, we have a questionnaire, a health questionnaire that you can fill out if you would like to have a conversation with us. And we can help match you with some things specifically for you. So it's never a cookie cutter. Sorry, guys, but or us women, we're we're extra. So but yeah, way more extra. But just know that most women aren't failing at health. They're just following advice that no longer fits their biology. And so that is what we are here for, is to help as far as you and your biology, to help troubleshoot and test that. So thank y'all so much for listening in, and we will see you next time.
Dear God, I thank you so much for your goodness and your grace to us. I pray for each of us on this journey that you would just help us to quiet all of the noise and all of the voices, and help us to remember that our bodies are your temples, and our goal is to keep them healthy and to glorify you through it. I pray that you would just drown out the noises of those voices of what our bodies should look like or what we think they should look like, and just help us to keep our focus on you. We love you, God. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us today. If this episode resonated with you, we'd love for you to come hang out with us over on Instagram. You can find us at The Strong and Steady. And if you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe and share this episode with a friend. We'll see you next time on Strong and Steady.